You have to be comfortable in making conversations. Yeah, you can see I'm not using screens. This is a park, and I'm doing things like that. So then I'm quite confident that I can express my ideas freely. So you have to come to that point. This is not a big thing. This is a very small thing. So then coming to that particular point, I say it again. Hi there, I'm Suranga from Englishman, and today I'm at Electro Park, Abu Dhabi. And this is called Electro Park because the street is Electro Street. And yeah, that's it. So this is the last day of the trip to Dubai. And yeah, that's really wonderful. As you can see everything is green and they're maintaining beautifully this Electro Park. It's wonderful because the reason is actually this is a desert in a way. So, but in some places of this desert, they have developed so that it is just like a part of Sri Lanka. That is maybe Ratnapura, maybe Deniai, or sort of things. The vegetation and everything is really, really good. Really, really fine. And people are moving here and there as this is a park and they are doing exercises and they are uh, jogging and walking and security officers are moving everywhere because the law is really, in a way, a tough thing when it comes to Sri Lanka. And basically, they do not allow us to take photographs of um, people here, and they don't like them being photographed, videotaped or whatever it is. So therefore, we have to be very careful when doing such things, so that we are not recording um, things with people included. Okay. However, my focal point today, my focus is of idioms and phrases in English idioms and phrases. So when we learn to be language to be natural, quite natural, we have to learn phrases, idioms, and sort of things so that we can reach uh, the native part of the language. For example, even in Sri Lanka, when people speak singular, say Tamil people, we feel the difference. The phrases and things that they are using would be a bit different what we usually use. I mean, that is it. So therefore, it becomes really queer. It becomes really different, and it become not really odd because we like people speaking our language everywhere. But the thing is, but you should respect the language that you are learning, and you have to obey the rules in a ways, and you have to follow the natural way of spoken language. So therefore, you have to learn phrases, idioms, and things like that. But there are books of idioms, books of phrases, and maybe 70,000 idioms, phrases, and things like that. There are. So then, how can we select all these things? That is one of the problems faced by learners of English or learners of any other language. Say, the thing is actually, you don't want to go to that much of books. You have people speaking around you when you go to YouTube or when you go to, say, any other thing, films, maybe documentaries or whatever. You find people speak the language that you are interested in, say English. Yeah. So then when you first you have to find your niche. Your niche is the place where you want to be placed. For example, I'm a teacher of language, teacher of science, and teacher of many other things, basically. Now I'm focusing on English language. But what I should do is basically to go to internet or somewhere and to find where teachers do their job. Say in England, maybe. or in America or Canada or Australia or native speakers, basically, how they use the language when they do the job. That is what I'm talking about, is teaching. And then the phrases, the things that they use. So when we watch continuously to all these things, it becomes natural to us. I mean, phrases become natural, yeah, in a way. So if you go to books and you try to learn things by heart, it is not natural in a way. So whenever you find a phrase when Sutta is using, you can go to a book and you can find using a good dictionary what the phrase is, what the meaning is. That is it. That is another chapter. But learning occurs automatically, naturally, as Stephen Krashen says. You cannot learn things deliberately. Even though you learn deliberately, it has something, but you have to wait until the right button is pressed. It happens when people are speaking. So therefore, if you want to speak the language, you have a lot of materials to watch. Even watching sort of YouTube videos in your area, and if you are always trying to learn things using books, and if you think basically that books will make you perfect and books will make you a good speaker, that is wrong. You should see the natural part of the language. If you want to acquire spoken language, you have to watch people speak. That is it. Another thing is, what I'm talking about is phrases and idioms. When you think about phrases and idioms, some phrases and idioms are really important, but they are not commonly used and not used in some countries. For example, in England, they have the idioms because it is English language, thousands of idioms. But of the thousands of idioms, what they use is in day-to-day life, I mean, in day-to-day conversations, colloquial language, what they use is, the amount that they're using is not that big. It is really, really simple. So therefore, if you want to select that, you have to listen to them, the most common idioms. And maybe some people I have seen them saying that British teachers, English teachers, they say, I can't remember the name, they say that people try to learn idioms using lists, phrases using lists. But wonderful enough, we are not using them, he says. We are not using the phrases. We are not using the idioms that foreign people, non-native speakers are trying to pick up. What he says is true. But when it comes to Sri Lanka, when it comes to India or Pakistan or any other country, there is a sort of standard here, Sri Lankan standard maybe, Indian standard or whatever. So if everything that Suddha uses naturally here in England or somewhere would not be of that much effective in Sri Lanka. So if somebody says Suddha is doing this, Suddha is using this way, so you have to use this, that is not the thing. We have filters in Sri Lanka when it comes to Sri Lanka. So the filters are different, things are different, our culture is different, the things that we are using is different. So for example, one nice example is crocodile tears. So in Sinhala we call it kibul kandulu, shedding crocodile tears, kibul kandulu halano. So it is in English. So it is really good because we don't use them even in Sinhala, you understand. Don't know whether you have heard that kibul kandulu halano. When in day-to-day conversations, maybe at times people would say kibul kandulu, but we don't say that. So then when learning things, if you learn that phrase, shedding crocodile tears, you should have an idea where you have to use that. Maybe not in a discussion, not in a colloquial language when you are using, you can use it in a presentation or sort of a lecture or crocodile tea, yes, that is accepted. So it is really good in that sense. But generally, it is not used. So therefore, even though some idioms are in our language, we are not using them. So it depends on the culture. It depends on our standard, Sri Lankan standard. So therefore, people would say, Suddha is doing this way, Suddha is doing that way, and you have to use that. And sometimes I have seen people talking about the English being used in Sri Lanka, the bad English. No, it is not bad English. Really a vast gap between the language that we are using and Suddha is using in Britain. So, as a beginner, I mean, if you are in intermediate to advanced level, so then Suddha matters. But if you are in sort of low intermediate or beginner level, so Suddha is not the thing. So you have to pick up the language so that you can converse. You have to be comfortable in making conversations. Yeah, you can see I'm not using screens. This is a park, and I'm doing things like that. So then I'm quite confident that I can express my ideas freely. So you have to come to that point. This is not a big thing. This is a very small thing. So then coming to that particular point, I say it again. If you are comfortable in using the language, at least at this level, then you can think about what Suddha is using particularly, especially. Otherwise, it is not that much. You are thinking about, you're aiming at a wrong place, wrong point, wrong target. Target is not proper. If your target is something really, really big, and if you are in this level, you become really uneasy. You become really disgusted with all these things, and you feel that it's really, really big. It's a big difference. I won't be able to reach that. Yeah, that is it. You have to make it a small chunk. I'm at this level, and I have to go to that level. And when I go to that level, I should go to that level. At the same time, you have to watch Suddha speaking. When Suddha doing things, if you are watching, you gradually going up. But exactly at one particular point, using a magic wand, you cannot be a Suddha. So therefore, when learning idioms and phrases and things like that, the program should be quite different, completely different. So make it a point to listen to conversations and things like that, basically. That is why I wanted you to listen to Sumitra Roy. That is, she's a professor of English in India. And Alina Rees, sort of people. You just listen to them first. And gradually, when you are listening to them, gradually your language becomes good. Your language comes to a good shape. So then you can think about the next levels. So first you have to be comfortable in spoken language, talking about things. That is it. That is what I want to tell you in Electropart. So now we are hungry. This is morning, and in Sri Lankan time this is 10:30. I think now it is 9 o'clock here. And yeah, the core point I wanted to make doing this video is, don't follow, don't go after, don't chase phrases, idioms and things like that much. Always what you have to do is to concentrate on whether you are being comfortable in using the language. You are not comfortable, you cannot use the language, you are thinking about phrases and idioms, what is the use of it? So therefore, I'm going to wind up this mini lesson, and if you like this video, please subscribe, give us a like, well, comment and share the video. Bye.